Well, these days I like to start my videos with a bit of faced camera. I've actually just finished a little job in the shed. It's only been a few minutes of a job. And what I've been doing is trying to get it so that the lift up section works better and that the locos and trains will run over the board join of the lift up section. So this video shows you what I've been doing to try and correct a problem that I had with that. Now I'm going to attempt a, let's say, repair improvement to my lift up section of track. Now, just in case you've forgotten, why do I use lengths of Fleischmann track at the joins, at the board joins there? Well, if I was using the normal track, what I'd have to do is put a copper clad sleeper in there and solder the rails to the copper clad sleeper and fasten it so that the rails were fixed well in position, because the plastic sleepers and chairs don't hold it well enough. But with the Fleischmann track, the rails are so securely held that they make a great thing for use at board joints. It holds it well. However, on the substrate, this is the end of the lift up section which goes against here, there's a couple of problems. Well, now there's only one problem really: moisture getting in. This end is okay because that's nice and level, but going across here, the chipboard has swelled and it's also expanded this way, so it's a bit on the tight side. Why is that? It wasn't. It's because, well, chipboard absorbs moisture. You can help prevent that by sealing it well enough, and it obviously wasn't sealed well enough with this paint, which I think is little more than an emulsion paint, and so the moisture has got in. It's not wet, it doesn't feel wet, but it's been enough of the dampness to cause it to swell, and that swelling amounts to a couple of millimeters. I guess if I got an accurate steel ruler on there, we'd be able to see it. More, a couple of millimeters thicker here than it is there. Yeah. So I am going to attempt to rectify that. And if the worst comes to the worst, I don't want to make a complete new lift up section. It will mean stripping more and more of the track back and doing more work. Let's see how much I have to do in order to get that sorted. So I'm going to take the track down there because I'm assuming that the level here is about right. That must have been built. Well, I made this. Made all of this. That's the same thickness chipboard on there as here. But that, oh, it's plywood. So at this end, the top, the surface here on this is actually, oh, you can't see it, it's not focusing. There we go. It's actually plywood. And that's why it's thinner. And obviously I've positioned the framing so that the board itself is at the right level. This lift up section and that middle length, that middle run there, is on chipboard, not plywood. There's a lesson for us, isn't there? So I'm going to assume that most of the swelling takes place at the edge of the board, and so what I'm doing is I'm just taking some thickness down with this. I'll try and go a little bit more than a couple of millimeters because I can always pack it up to the right height once it's back again. So I've managed to free off all of them. What I've got to remember is that the pin, track pin, sheared on this one, and so I don't want to ruin my chisel blade on there. As far as I know, I'm clear of any other things. You'll see that I did use hot melt glue to help with the positioning of the track, and I'll probably do that again when I've got this down, just to align the track, make sure that both bolts are in, that this is where I want it to be, and then I can pack the track. Oh, there's the pin's still in that one. So that's what I'm doing. Chisel, I'm paring the wood back so I can get it down to the right height. Well, I've got the 2 bolts in place. Gives the reference. That one, if pinned down now on that wood as it is, that would be about right, and there's barely any gap between the rails. This one, just feeling it, yeah, not bad. This one, I think it's a touch high on there. This one, anyway, so I'm just checking how they're going. But the other thing is, I'm going to put the pins in at this end to the hinges. There's a reasonable gap here, which is partly a function of the, I don't know what's, the wood binding at the bottom and pushing it out a bit at the top. Maybe I should ease that a little, but it's very tight at this end, so maybe ease that end a bit while I've got the belt sander. So work with the chisel underneath the track to lower it, work with the belt sander on the end, and also underneath to generically drop it down. If it ends up being too low, I've got 2 ways of getting the height right. One is I can just put something in here, which is a packing piece to give me the right height of the boards. And then, of course, as I fix the tracks down, I can set those at the right height. Let's see how it looks. Now, whatever, the board is the right height. I've not left enough space for coating. That's occurred to me. It's raw wood now. It could do it being painted with something to stop water getting into it, and that's going to add, well, I don't know what I'll have, maybe only 0.5 millimeter, but it'll add some thickness. Let's just close up those fish plates if I can. So rail gaps are quite tight there. That's going to be the right height when it's there. That can be done. That can be done. Right, those can all now be set to a good position. At the other side, the gaps are larger than I thought I had designed when I made the lift up thing, but because it's in line and it's straight, the stock seems to get it across it okay. And the other thing that I'm thinking of is making more of these plastic strips so that it keeps the flanges in line as it goes over the join. There we go. It's all down to the running. And the reason why I'm pausing and umming and ahhing is whether I think I should take some more off, because the act of painting will increase the thickness and the depth. But we'll see how I get on. So what are my learning points from this? First of all, don't use chipboard as a baseboard. However, I've got tons of chipboard in use as baseboard. All of that. If you do use chipboard, be sure to seal the surface carefully, particularly the sawn edges. The top and bottom might not be so bad, but the sawn edges do need sealing to stop moisture ingress. And then the other thing, at board joins, save some Fleischmann, I think it's just Fleischmann track, just comes like this. So what you do is you lay the length of Fleischmann track across your board join. The boards are cut already. Get it all in place and then saw through the Fleischmann track. So there's one piece on that side, one piece on that side, and you don't need to then use a copper clad sleeper and solder the rails to the copper clad sleeper. That edge there of that track is held securely and squarely. It gets knocked. I've got this thing coming up and down, and same thing on there. And the Fleischmann track provides a reliable, repeatable join because of the way the track is held in the base. That's it. That's what I'm hoping now to have much better running over this board join at the end of this lift up section, which, if I take the pin hinges out, becomes a lift out section. I must remember to reconnect the plugs underneath to connect the power to it. So power into this just comes from one side. It comes from that direction through the connector. And what I have got over the door is multi-strands of wire which feeds the let's call this the fiddle yard track power from this side over the door through that trunking down to the other side, down to the track here and back through a plug connector to feed the power to this lift up section, which I'm leaving propped like that for the time being. I'm assuming that's as good as any. Okay, if there's any thoughts you've got or any questions and you think I might be able to help, please message or comment or whatever happens. And what you will find, if you look through the comments, you'll find that there are some very helpful modelers who add their own thoughts which enhance the work that I've done. I often I'm very grateful to people who make further comments which tell you of even better ways of doing things than I might have found. Thank you for that.